Okay, it's on now. You're live, Doc.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today is a very special day. We are here as we do every day, Monday to Friday. And I just want to say thank you for joining us today. On Monday, yesterday, we had Rev Water. On Tuesday, it's today. And on Wednesday, it's Mompreneurs. Um, where we showcase young people, what they're doing and whatever it is that is happening around our lives. On Thursday, we've got Dr. Nelly, and on Friday, it is the healthy tips. And these healthy tips really made something so special yesterday, the other day when we were just talking about how health plays such a big role in our lives that we can either choose to live longer or to shorten our lives. So healthy tips are really something that is so good. Before we actually start today, as I welcome everyone, I just want us to have a minute of silence just in honor of my best friend who went to be with the Lord, and just to reflect and just make things just be in perspective. So 1 minute of silence for me, please, would be good. 1 minute. Thank you very much. I just say good morning again and welcome to today's investment in Mentorship Academy session. It's an investment because we've been here 5 years and we're still counting. My name is Dr. Sunshine Sylvia, and with me today, I have my dear guest, the one that we've been promoting this platform with for the last 5 years, being good every day, waking up and being in the back office. And I just want to really say that he's been so fantastic and he knows my story. So I thought instead of me coming today on this dedication and reflection, I thought we can just have a discussion. And today we are really talking about something very close to my heart, which is nurturing relationships under the family and home, spoke of the wheel of life. And I want just to use my own story because, your story matters, as the Absa would say. And I know that my story with my mother-in-law really matters. And this way of celebrating, I feel like this is the way of celebrating her life and really letting her go into glory. Because, even just, a few hours before she passed on, because she was speaking until the very end with her memory intact and with everything that one has to offer, with seeing her God just in front of her. And she was even saying, please don't stand in front of me, stand behind here because I am seeing great things, ahead of me. So I just want to really thank God. And as she begged me to let her go, that she had reached her marks, and all it needed was just to let her go to glory. And I went out there and prayed a prayer of transition, going to another. It's like you are going to another job. It's like you're going to another place. It's like you're reconnecting with something else. And she made me really believe that really people see God. Those people that have good faith, they see God. And, she aligned, myself and others in that same spirit. So, Rev, thank you so much um, for being here with me. So I just want to throw this, the introduction. How do you really see this whole thing? Because we've been talking and we've been chatting, and you're just there trying to just resonate of how I have played my life with this gorgeous mother in.
Absolutely a fantastic good morning to everybody listening in. I don't have my camera on today. I'm usually not on the camera on Tuesdays to Fridays unless otherwise. So forgive me for just the icon. But good morning to everybody. Of course, deepest, sincerest condolences to you, Auntie Sylvia, Uncle Steve, and the entire Monza family, the children, the grandchildren, everybody that was impacted by this great woman, and of course through her to the entire extended family on her side, and all those that got to be so blessed by her wisdom and presence for all these 97 years. And non-Nigerian, that is so non-Nigerian. Yeah, the term always throws me off. Very amazing for somebody to live to the ripe old age of 97. It is not a common thing. You are so blessed, as the one says. It means you guys have one of those genes, long life genes. So treasure those genes. You'll be amazed. And you know this, of course, Doc, how many people actually don't even live to 60, just 60, so to see one not just cross 70, which is the promised age in the Bible, but then another 27 years on top of 70. I mean, that's amazing, Doc, because you realize that 27 years is the time it takes to give birth to someone and actually see them finish college and get married and have a kid. I mean, that's how long she's such a blessed woman. And so we thank God for her. And one of the things that really touched me, is the story you narrate about her last days, when she was literally, her eyes were so open, the spiritual eyes were so open that she was witnessing the spirit world live, and you people would hear her say so. That's just amazing. That gives us an idea of a glimpse into that side of the world and the reality of our faith. She literally saw the Lord Jesus, and obviously saw all these angelic beings as they came to take her home. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, if anything, that alone should be a testimony to everybody living, that you need to put your life in order, because there is a reality greater than this one. And one day we will all stand before the great majesty of the King of the universe, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And when you stand before him, how are you standing? Are you standing as a saint or as a sinner? And then really, I mean that. Are we standing right or standing wrong? And the Bible is categorically clear about that. So we need to put our lives in order. And the testimony of your mother in love is such a loud clarion call to everybody that it is a real world out there beyond this one. And we need to put ourselves in readiness for it. I think that's an amazing testimony that
Yeah.
she left.
And I know a lot of families are just things in the air where they say mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, really must be tension somewhere, because there's just so many things that go around. And for me, this is a story that I would like to encourage others to just even think about and say, you can coexist. You can be able to be you don't have to have this distance. And one time we were actually chatting at what is the term that I can use to say the exact thing that she was saying. Being distant, I can just translate it. Being distant, you can miss out the nice things that you really should be able to get when you're close by. So we actually use that term a lot, and to say, even in the funeral, she'll leave a space for me to come and sit. She'll be the one to say, oh, this is what mommy likes. Or if you don't like this stuff, because that is exactly what she's coming to do. So you better just be ready. So we really,
Doc, one thing I know, I don't know if you're going to narrate this, but permit me to narrate one aspect of your story that just touched me so much. I'm going to use it for my own lessons. You mentioned, I mean, there's a lot that you did, which was amazing. Even the term that you're using, mother in love, I love that term myself, because it changes the dynamics. It reframes the whole relationship. But here's a story you said which touched me so much. You mentioned that as her days were waning, and as you realize that, okay, this illness she's having is really just doesn't look like she may recover from it, although nobody wants to say that, of course. But you're looking at a situation, you're like, I think. So there's something you told me yesterday which just blew my mind. You made arrangements, had her room that she used to stay in cleared, and you put up a whole, setup in there. You put took out any clutter that was there, set it up nicely, and then you took your desk, your office desk, set it up in there, and just put just the whole room. You redecorated the room, had all what she needed for her health monitoring there. But on top of that, you were there. So you worked, you literally shifted and were working from there. And obviously the amazing part is that now you got to be there throughout with her. And that's why you were able to witness all this. I mean, how many times have I heard of a story where a daughter in love will shift to her mother-in-law's home, not just the home, room, and be there and literally work from there and just be there to see what's going on and to be, firsthand to whatever developments are happening. I mean, that blew me away, Doc. And I thought I should just mention that because I haven't heard such a story. For me, I'll talk about myself. I haven't heard of such a story, where a daughter-in-law shifts into the mother-in-law's home room and is with her and works from there. Of course, you and I have this privilege of working, from our homes and wherever because of the kind of work we do. But it's just an amazing tale. And I thought I should just mention that because it blew me away, Doc. I won't lie. Back to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it just made me feel so good. It made me, because I am one person who wants to know details. So I just said, let me just hear the details by myself. And, it was just so warm and nice. Even my sister, was like, wow, okay. Even, like we were talking about it yesterday with Shkulu Steven, and he was saying, no one told you to go there. It was just so amazing to just see you there. And, I thought it was just 1-2 days and you come back. But what the decision you made to just go and stay there was just so awesome. And I said, when I look at you, in fact, what actually makes me do these things is, it's like my husband is helpless. He doesn't know what to do, and he's male, and he's, so I just think, oh, okay, let me do this for him. Let me do this for him. Because, people who are close with their mothers in love, or their mothers in love who are close with you, it means they love their son so much that, yes, it is the love that, she had for her children, her great children, her grandchildren, and also even just my siblings. When one of my siblings was not well, it was like it was her own child who was unwell, and she would just be there, 100%. Even when the kids were in the hospital, I was not the one that was sleeping when we stayed with her, the 14 years. I was not the one that was going to sleep at the hospital. She was the one that was going. So we even when I used to have my babies, she was the one that was taking care of me. Obviously, my mother was not in Lusaka, but I couldn't even. There was nothing that I missed that my own mother was not in the city. There was absolutely nothing. And so this is why, for me, when I reflect, and when you're growing up, your early years, you are growing into these relationships. That's why they say upbringing matters a lot in your life. Upbringing. You can imagine, for me, even my children in love, it's like I can just have them hold to me, and they are mine. There's no one who can subtract anything from me with them. The way I have been treated, that's the way I treat my own, and I don't want. Oh yes, and I don't want. And I found myself even at the funeral saying, "Hey, mommy, Jackie, what is happening? Have you eaten? Have you?" So I go there to start to prepare, just the way she was, and it's natural because that's the way I've been brought up.
And,
So
and Doc, you raised something very critical there. I just want you also to narrate to me because I asked you yesterday, and I was very deliberate in asking. I mean, I'm gonna make sure I share this show because it's profound. I'll copy it and deliberately share it again. This one because there's something you said to me yesterday that just blew my mind. I mean, besides, look, there's a lot you said which really blew my mind, but this one also was profound. You said something that made me go, wow. You said no. We lived with the father. Your mother-in-law. You live mother-in-law. You lived with her for almost 15 years. 15 years, and I said, so when did you do that? I asked that question because I just wanted to hear. And you said 6 months after getting married to Vashkulu Stephen. I said, what? 6 months? Not 6 years. No, 6 months. I said, geez, how in God's name did you manage that dynamic? So I would love you to narrate how that was. And I mean, obviously the bond you now had with, your mother-in-law is indescribable now. But just narrate to the listeners the dynamics of that because the reputation out there. The frames when it comes to I'll use the term mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law. There is such a bad dynamic. You know how people have always said, no, my mother this, what? And so there's so much tension in that relationship. How in God's name did you navigate that space? And considering your personality as well, Auntie Sylvia, I know you're not a pushover, you're not a walkover. you're a very resolute woman, very resolute. But how did you manage those dynamics? I mean, because for me, that's an amazing story. Over to you.
Yes, she was diagnosed with a heart disease, and it meant that when somebody who loves somebody is not well, and we were told that she had a heart disease, and it meant that we were going to be going to her place almost every day or every week, and she was staying like the opposite, just behind the KK houses there, the first house. So then I just said, but we just the house is big, so we can just as well just make one of the rooms to be her room, and yeah, and that was it. That was it. That was in 1985. Yeah. So we just
1985.
Yeah,
wow, when Zambia was Zambia.
Yes. So, it sounds like a cake. Yeah, because this year we are going to clock 40 years. So it was just like that, and we were just the three of us in the beginning, just the four of us. It was myself, Daddy, and Mutale. That's why Mutale is so close with the grandmother that you cannot separate them. And if she just feels unwell, she would tell the daughter, "Where's Mutale? Come, Mutale." And they really bonded. So when Sampa came, it was just taking care of me, taking care of and we didn't even know where the heart disease disappeared to, by the way.
I'm telling you, I believe, sorry for interrupting, but I believe the love and care took the heart disease away because probably she was stressed, poor woman. So, the moment you guys took her in, that changed the dynamics completely and that heart disease disappeared. In short, the love.
A day before she died, she was having a heart failure. So it had disappeared completely, and we were just going there and just being happy. So this for me, it's like I met a woman who chose to see me as a daughter and not as an intruder, because a lot of times we seem like we are intruders in each other's life.
Yeah.
And this is why I actually call her my mother-in-law, because there was no law in the bond, only love. And I was,
True.
when we were getting married, her speech, because she actually made a speech at our wedding.
Is
And
it? Wow.
yes, she said I was her gift from God. And she said it on the day of our wedding. And so I have really just like, okay, this woman, if I'm her gift from God, let it be so. Let me not
Yeah.
interfere with her thoughts. So we had,
Mm.
fruitful conversations. She would say, we all agreed, if you have to tell me something, tell me. I can take it.
Yeah.
But don't say
Don't
it
don't 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 go and tell
behind
them.
my
Don't
back.
go and
Don't
tell us
say it
to
to people
Stephen.
that have come visiting. And this is actually the problem of these relationships. People, when they
Mm.
want to say something, they don't tell you. But when people visit,
Mm.
they tell the people
Mm.
that are visiting. And then
Yeah.
that is creating now. Because those people will go. Those people will
Yes.
go and you will remain. So why do you want to
Mm.
tell people who are going away and you remain, the two of you, sorting it
Mm-hmm.
out? And I think that
Mm-hmm.
is the thing that those listening to me would be able to, to think about. When you
But
want to say
sorry,
something,
sorry, Auntie Sylvia, I just want to come in there. How then did you resolve conflict? Because I know for sure conflict is always there in all relationships. But how did you manage conflict in such a manner that it grew you rather than, brought all the tension that's common in a lot of relationships like this? How did you manage conflict with
um,
mom?
the conflict were managed through the openness. You know me, I'm black or
Mm.
white, through the openness,
Yes,
because
yes,
I said
yes.
something openly. I remember, one time when, we were, she used to farm. She used to actually from Ibex, she would go to the Munda. She was actually very, very active. So we didn't prevent her from doing the things that she liked.
Yes.
She was a Catholic Women's League member. She used to have meetings in our home because that was her home.
Mm.
So those things that
Mhm.
she liked, I never prevented her from doing them. And so the same, the
Mhm.
things that I liked, she never prevented me from doing them. So that was
Mhm.
the common denominator. We respected boundaries, of course, but we laughed together, shared meals together, and even disagreed without breaking the bond. Like I can tell
Yes.
you, sharing a pantry. It was tough at first because she had all the pupus, all the seedlings, all the what. She, put in those sack things, the things that don't look nice, and
Yes.
in my pantry. And then I said, "Mommy, this is a house of a young girl. You see, my friends, they come, we have meetings here, and that time we were really big in round table, with the round table and lady circle. So I said, okay, for you to keep your seedlings, these and the take a meal and the what and everything. So I just went and bought these big plastics
Mhm.
containers and put
Mhm.
all those things and labeled them. And I said, Mommy, now it will be very easy for you to find things because I had labeled beans, mpupu, sorghum, labeled everything. And she just go there and she was happy. Oh, so
Serious.
yes, so it's easy for me to find my things instead of me saying,
Wow.
you make my place dirty, so I want these things out.
Mhm.
Emotional intelligence is very important. What
I'm
would
telling
you
you. I'm
like?
telling you.
So I labeled them and put them on one side, and then we packed it together. I said, now let's pack. She helped me pack the pantry. Those days we used to, to buy, okay, even up to now, but not in those quantities. We used to do monthly shoppings where you put your
Yes.
things, everything.
Kai,
So
with the shortages of the time,
yes,
if you found something, you made sure you buy enough
yes,
in
yes.
case you don't find it
Yeah,
the time. Yes,
yes.
yes.
So all those things, were done in something, and we even had to put, a sick room and a sick room, obviously for our warrior, and when she would be in charge of that room, and she would be able to actually maintain it and tell the stories. Even when we are out, we'll say, "Mommy, how is the sick room doing?" And no one has been sleeping there. Everybody's fine, and whatever it is that was there. So we
Wow.
really
You know,
found
you know
something
what
that.
what I've loved about your narration, Doc, and it's a pity the time is even literally going. There's one huge lesson you've just displayed there. In neuropsychology and neuro leadership, we talk about frames, and we talk about three types of frames among many. But there are these three types of frames. They are what they call parental frames, child frames, and adult frames. Now, what's interesting is that when somebody has an adult frame, when it comes to conflict, they always look for the solution and bring a win-win long before. And then they have a very appropriate use of emotions. In short, like you said, they have emotional mastery. So you say it so well. You know, normally what would happen with some of these young ladies is they would go to, or rather wives, they would go to their husband and start complaining, thereby
Yeah.
wearing them, or they'll just start murmuring, hey, this place is so dirty. Oh, this garbage. We need to be cleaning the, and that's
And
so
I just want to say this to the people that
Mhm.
are listening, even to you, Rev, because you all have
Yes.
mother in love.
Mm.
She protected me, actually. When people come to the house, she will be the one to tell them the rules of the house, so that
Wow.
they don't take it that, oh, she's the one that is speaking. Because, and of course, as you know, for me, I don't miss my words, and I will just say it the way it is. So she protected me because she understood me. So she protected
Yeah.
me. She would be the ones to say, iya, pano pa nyumba hizi sibabifuna hivi mukachita so muyenda hivi elo endani
I'm
chabe.
telling
So she would
I'm
actually protect me in that. She protected me. She cared for me as a whole person, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It was something that was so remarkable. And I can tell you, when I was being pregnant, I used to spit. And believe me,
Mm.
she used to carry my cup because me, I was like
Wow.
vomiting when I see the cup. So she would, she would only you only give it back to me when I'm about to spit in it. And when we are together, so my sister the other day was saying, if I had to say the tribute, I would give it. I would say that this one, this was what was happening in her life. So I just want to say a few lessons
Wow.
before,
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
go.
Mm.
Lessons from my mother in love. I learned three powerful lessons. Trust
Hmm.
is built by consistency. It wasn't
Yeah.
one big act, but years
No.
of small, dependable actions that made me feel
Hmm.
safe with her.
Hmm.
The second one was respect is mutual. Even though she was the elder, she valued my opinions and never dismissed them.
Wow.
And the other one is love is an active choice. We focused on what united us and not what could divide us. And why
Hmm.
this matters for the will of life. The family and home is the anchor of emotional strength. It is with this area is, if this area is fractured, it's hard to have stability in other areas, whether it's career, finances, or personal growth. But when it's strong, it becomes a foundation for peace, health, and legacy. We are talking about her legacy here. If it didn't happen, we're not going to be talking about it. It was just, oh,
Hmm.
good riddance. She's out. So I want you to really, as a reminder, that nature relationships is not passive. It requires attention, humility, and grace. And I believe
Hmm.
that nature relationship, even those that are expected to be difficult, can change the tone of an entire family. My relationship with my mother-in-law became part of my life's legacy. So today I challenge you, I ask you, where can I choose? Where can I choose? You have to ask yourself or ask, where can I choose love over assumption? Where can I
Hmm.
build trust instead of distance? What relationships
Hmm.
in my home need healing before they can grow? So go out there and heal. And I'd just like to thank you, Rev Water, that it's never too late to start. Whether
Hmm.
it's rebuilding trust, choosing respect, or choosing love in small ways, these principles
Yeah,
work at any age of your life.
I tell
And
you.
I just love the way you have just come in and shared the story with me today. And thank you, friends, for joining us. Let's go out and be intentional about building a legacy of love in our home. Because family and home, that's where life starts and that's where it ends. It ended for me at such a lovely thing that I am so happy. And she even asked, don't mourn me. You have already done everything for me. Just go there and celebrate my life. You must look nice. Children must look nice. Everybody must look nice. It's like
I can imagine that's what she must have said, that I don't want any dirty people in my funeral. Okay?
that was the friend, because this one was very, very humble. That was my mother who was saying, I want my children to be in suits. I want my grandchildren to what? I want you to wear high heels, because that's what I like. I like to admire you when they say. So I'm sure they have laughed. I'm sure they have met and they're just singing hallelujah, all the way. And they have even met the brother, the cardinal. And I'm sure it is just all nice. It is just all nice. So make today one of your imperative action steps to choose unconditional love, especially that really you have no choice if you need to have quality life. Start by engaging those who sometimes, fail to reason with. If you have strong issues but want to change, get in touch with me or DM me or any of our team members to start the mindset change process. It's a process. It is not going to be fixed. So it is a very big process where we include, family and home activities. We call them cocktail chats, because we come from your home to your office, to your neighborhood, to your community. And we just want you to be good as you actually get out of there. We'll share with you all the best practice for you to be, to nurture your relationships. If you want, you can call on 09755 or DM me to start your journey, because this is what it is, and this is what it really makes sense for everyone to be able to actually share into the things that we really are proud of and we really are meant to enjoy. Life is to be enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening.